What is going on, Matt? How you doing today?
Hanging in there, a little under the weather, but the show goes on.
Show must go on. Has to.
That's right.
um, yeah. So today I wanted to dive into capital raising and how your efforts have gone when it comes to capital raising so far. Yeah. So let's start with this. I wanted to see what has been your main focus when it comes to capital raising. Is it quantity or is it type of person that you're reaching out to, and who are you reaching out to?
Um, Good question. I think it's a mix of both. I think quantity in the sense of reaching out to my entire network of friends and family. Um, Quality in the sense of people that I know, obviously my friends, but knowing their situation um, and their timeliness as far as where they're at in life. Some friends are having kids, some friends are trying to buy a house, um, and we're at that age where that's their next steps in life. So, kind of a mix of both in that sense. And even if they are in a situation where, yeah, right now might not be the best time, still reaching out because at least they know what we're doing and can have the opportunity to invest in the future with us, just to get their or make sure that they're aware of what we're doing. um, as far as reach outs have gone, been a little bit more of a, I'll say, struggle than what we've been told or what you see then on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. You see all these gurus saying, well, if you have a good deal, money's going to come to you, which yes and no. Um, we've had numerous conversations, countless conversations with friends, family, all in different situations, and a lot of them say, majority of them say, "Yeah, I'm interested." So we can, have that initial conversation about investing in real estate. When you get down the line of the conversation, it's kind of like, well, now's not the right time for me, or whatever the situation they may be in. So that's what we've come across, and I think my
Yeah,
biggest hurdle has been with these conversation is trying to understand their situation. Obviously, we don't want to put them in a tough spot, but our ultimate
for
goal
sure.
with starting real estate and in having friends and family invest is to bring them along for the ride with us long term. So making sure they still understand that. And yet, right now might not be the best time for majority of these people. Um, but making sure we're trying to uh, give them or provide them the information in the best way possible so they understand the
Yeah,
situation as well.
yeah. That's our, that's the ultimate goal, or that's the ultimate. I guess that's our duty or our job is to make sure that it's the right situation for our investors. And then I know that that's a main, that's a big thing you hear in investing is if you have a great deal, the money will come. Um, and while money is tough to come by, if, I don't necessarily know if it's the deal on this one specifically, or if it's just the people that we've talked to. Like you said, you know, trying to, the major goal that we have is trying to get our friends and family to invest with us and come along for the ride and experience the benefits of investing and what that, or investing in real estate and what that can do for you. But yeah, no, those are all good points. Some areas that I'm getting, or the bottlenecks that I'm having is similar. It's not, in no way is it an excuse. It's obviously that person's situation, but it's, you hear a lot of, oh, it's not the right time, or oh, I'm going to do this, or I'm looking to buy a house, or I'm looking to buy my own investment property. And while that's amazing, and while I wish, or I mean, I hope that that happens. What's the reality, or what's how realistic is that? That's kind of where the conversation leads to, is how realistic is that? You have these options in front of you. You could buy your own property. That means that you have to manage the property. You have to operate the property, find a tenant, go and close on the property in the first place, find the property in the first place, and make sure it makes sense. What's the reality of that happening? Um, or there may be, you buy your own house. Okay, well, how far along are you? How much longer will it take to buy your own house? Or you could put your money into an asset like multifamily with us, or with another group, or what have you, and your money can go to work right away. Your money, and you just
Yeah.
collect a check every month. And while that sounds easy on the back end, obviously that's tough work on our end, but that's what we're doing. That is our goal. So yeah, it is a struggle, but it's definitely a fun struggle. It's definitely something that we're going to have to learn how to do one way or another, and figuring it out as we go is it has been a journey for sure.
Yeah, and I think us having these conversations, obviously it's like at bats, and I know we've discussed this before, but continuously um, having these conversations, obviously you can learn from each and every one of them. So even though you may get that no, not the right time to invest, still good practice. You're still able to learn and have some good key takeaways as far as getting on the phone and either walking them through the pitch deck in full, um, or just understanding their questions and being able to have answers for every and any type of question that people have. One interesting thing I think that I've come across too with all these conversations is the types of questions people ask. Um, has been very different across age groups, and then even within certain age groups, very different questions. Some people are looking for the very basics. Hey, how much of a return am I getting on my money, or what is my money worth in a certain amount of years? I've received a bunch of questions as just about the property itself, not necessarily on the returns. So it's been pretty interesting as far as coming across different types of questions with all these people, and where their heads are at, or what their thoughts come to when they're looking at this pitch deck.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you had a similar experience as far as having these initial conversations, or just talking with anyone in general?
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting, the different parts of, or the different point that people are in life, that kind of drives the questions that they ask. Kind of to your point, and it is very interesting. Yeah, I've had people talk about the deal specifically. I've had people who are in different career paths that ask different questions. For example, I have a buddy who's in property management who asked a ton of questions about our property manager for this, or for the property. I had people talk about the returns specifically, or uh, yeah. So yeah, I definitely had a lot of different types of questions, which has been great. But ultimately, if whether you're investing or whether you're thinking about investing, ultimately it's about education.
Yeah.
If you are serious about investing, go on Instagram, go on Google, go on Twitter, and learn about the types of returns you should be receiving, or the types of returns that other people are receiving, what those terms actually mean. Because if I ask you, what's your target cash on cash return, and if that makes you look like a deer in the headlights because you have no idea, that's totally fine. Don't be discouraged that you don't know what your target cash on cash return is, or IRR, internal rate of return, is, or what you're expecting. But go research it, right? I've always been a big um, I've always been a big I've always been big on doing your own research, learning and learning for yourself, and taking accountability for your knowledge. You can only control your knowledge. You can't control my knowledge and how much I know. You can control your own. So uh, if you're feeling, and it's also okay to go into a meeting with somebody like us, and and ask a million different questions, wherever you're at in a specific um, in your life with investments. Ask whatever types of questions you're thinking about, and we'll us as operators also are very cognizant of you know where you are with our questions that we ask you. So we're definitely aware, and we're not going to put you in a situation that's going to put you out. If you have
Right.
$50,000 to your name, it's probably not the best idea to invest that $50,000 in a multifamily property. Um, but if you have a couple $100,000, and you have X amount towards real estate or investing, maybe it's maybe it's a good option for you. So
Right.
yeah.
And I think you hit the nail on the head as far as education from our standpoint, having these conversations too. Like we said from the start, we want to take all of our friends and family for the long haul, and have them continuously invest with us, but making sure they're educated on what they're actually getting into. Real estate investing is a pretty broad topic in that sense, where you can invest in all sorts of types of real estate. Whether that be single family rentals, multifamily rentals, commercial properties. There's also funds that you can invest into, but just making sure that they're on the same page as us as far as what they're putting their money into and how it's going to be put to work. So being able to educate a lot of our friends um, along those lines in what we're doing is a crucial part of having them be with us for the long haul.
Yeah. Yeah, and I can also see it as I also see it as, do you trust, or what do you or do you not trust? Do you trust the location? Do you trust the type of property? Do you trust us as operators or our team? And once you diagnose, okay, I trust you as a human being. I trust you. You're my friend. I know you wouldn't do wrong by me. Great, perfect. Do you trust real estate in general? Yeah, I trust real estate because markets typically go up, and I know a little bit about real estate. Okay, great. Now, do you trust this specific property? And what about it? If you don't, what about it do you not trust? That's
Right.
diagnose or figuring out what that is to a specific investor or a specific person, is definitely something uh, that has been eye opening in this whole experience. Is trying to figure out if you trust the whole process. If you don't, and you don't want to invest, and it's totally fine. But if the reason you're not investing, and you have the ability to, and the reason you're not investing is because you don't trust a specific asset or aspect, what is that? And trying to
Right.
figure out, okay, because we trust it. We have done hours and hours and hours and countless research and application and practice and investing of our own, and so we trust the specific property, and we wouldn't be coming to you with this opportunity if we didn't trust it. So
Right.
um, getting that point across as well has been a challenge as well for me. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think we just got to continuously push ourselves to get on the phones, get in front of people, and continuously having these conversations to not only educate ourselves on um, making ourselves the best or representing ourselves in the best manner, but also representing all of our investors in the right light as well.
yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that's a good stopping point for today. Any other
Yeah.
notes or comments you wanted to add in?
No, but if you've ever considered investing in real estate, I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you do have. We do this for a living, so we definitely would be happy to walk you through anything and talk to you about it. If you have any questions, like and subscribe, comment.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, hit it. All right.